Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Dennis Wu. Thank you for joining us. The first Tzu Chi school established outside of Taiwan, the Chiang Mai Tzu Chi School in Thailand, which opened in 2005, finally has a secondary school division. After over 20 years of continuous care to prisoners in southern Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers have successfully helped many stay on the righteous path. A Tzu Chi care recipient in Malaysia's Penang, though Lin Laifu is still struggling in life, he has learned to become more optimistic after going on home visitations. But first to the Philippines for a fire relief report. A Minmay fire in Quezon City's Barangay San Vicente caused 2 deaths and left some 100 families homeless. Upon learning the situation, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived for a quick survey and soon returned to hold an aid distribution.
Here at Barangay San Vicente in Philippines' Quezon City, a fire in mid-May took away the lives of Armando's wife and daughter. The disaster also destroyed 40 houses and left some 100 families homeless.
My daughter showed me her degree certificate just before the fire disaster, and now she has left me forever. I'm really upset. I would rather lose all my belongings than lose my wife and daughter.
Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at the community to give their love and support.
Tzu Chi empathizes with and loves all our residents. We believe in helping those in need. That is Tzu Chi Foundation's philosophy.
Local volunteer Angel encourages her fellow Filipinos to never lose faith in life.
Don't be upset and don't lose faith. Let us live life with courage and not think about the fire or whether it will occur again or not. We must be brave.
At the distribution, volunteers not only hand out relief items, but also show the residents Tzu Chi's environmentally friendly blankets to inspire everyone to give a little of their love.
In Thailand on May 31st, the Chiang Mai Tzu Chi School's middle school division officially opened after construction began in 2007. The school, which was Tzu Chi's first educational establishment outside Taiwan, first enrolled elementary pupils in 2005. Now it is ready to welcome middle school students, catering to even more youngsters, to equip them with the knowledge to succeed.
清迈实际学校中学部正式启用，见证爱。
With blessings from all around, the middle school of Chiang Mai Tzu Chi School opens, offering to northern Thailand a brand of education with Tzu Chi's unique humanistic touch.
There are a lot of people in Phang County who don't have an ID card and thus can't go to school. By building a school here, Tzu Chi is giving them an opportunity to get an education, which is really needed.
After Tzu Chi's 3-year poverty alleviation program in Thailand ended in 1997, volunteers continue with their plan to build schools. In 2002, construction began for the Tzu Chi Chiang Mai School, which is the first of its kind outside of Taiwan. In 2005, the school enrolled students for its elementary division. 2 years later, the building of its middle school was underway.
Whether it is the school's surrounding environment, the facilities, or its hardware and software, everything has been very well organized. Students here will have enough resources to help them become talents for our society.
The school students also prepared performances for the opening ceremony, which was full of Tzu Chi's touch of humanity and the youngsters' energy and vivaciousness.
While other schools are concerned about balancing their budget, here at the Tzu Chi School, we place more emphasis on character building and the development in our students. Coming here and seeing the students chases away all my worries. That's how I feel every time I come here.
So far, buildings only take up half of the school's premise. A technical college will be added to the school complex in the future to give children a better opportunity to achieve their full potential through education.
In Taiwan, Sanzong Tzu Chi grounds will soon be hosting a training seminar for overseas volunteers. To make sure their guests will feel welcome and get a good night's sleep, volunteers are working hard to finish 2,400 sets of new bedding. Here's more. At the Tzu Chi grounds in Taiwan Santong, 12,000 yards of fabric are being turned into 2,400 blankets. Community volunteers have been helping out since the first day. Some of them have worked as a seamstress for more than 30 years, which helps make the work easier. Every blanket only uses 5 yards of fabric and must be cut precisely to reduce waste.
When we're prepping the pattern to minimize wastage, even the sheets were cut in one piece to make sure every single resource is used.
The Santong grounds will soon host a training seminar for overseas volunteers. The new bedding will make sure that guests from abroad can get a good night's rest. The fabric supplier also did what they can to help.
Our fabrics have been dyed and pressed very nicely. This will prevent fast balls from forming after prolonged use. We're very grateful for everyone's cooperation.
The work is estimated to take 10 days, and thus some 30 volunteers come on a daily basis and work until 10 o'clock every night.
I'm so very happy and grateful for this rare opportunity.
An owner of an apparel company who has not sold for 20 years was worried at first.
I thought I could give it a try since this is a rare opportunity. Once I sat down, everything just came back and I remembered how to sew.
Sewing their love into the beddings, these volunteers hope the upcoming seminar will be successful. Kaohsiung's Tzu Chi volunteers were first invited to spread the charity's positive message to prisoners in Tainan's Minder prison 20 years ago. Eventually, a rehabilitation program was also developed to help reintroduce former inmates back into society. Not only have many of these former inmates managed to walk the righteous path, many have also joined Tzu Chi's ranks and shared their stories to inspire others.
Yang Jiuru and Zhang Zhanzhi are like brothers and come to this recycling station every day. After Yang shared his experiences as an ex-offender, Zhang was inspired to join Tzu Chi and began training as a volunteer.
I wanted to watch DaAi TV, so I searched Yang's name online, and the Bagualiao recycling station popped out. I thought he might be there, so I looked for him in Bagualiao.
The fastest way to change yourself is through doing recycling work, because you're so focused in the process. I'm really thankful to Tzu Chi. Tzu Chi gave me so much and led me to a different kind of life.
Yang was involved in the loan shark business and ran hostess clubs before he was sentenced to prison for extortion. He started with Tzu Chi's recycling work 5 years ago. Now he visits prisons or juvenile reformatories to share his experience with other prisoners.
I was on the wrong track before and wasted a lot of time. If I can share my experience with these young people, these children in the juvenile reformatory, at least I can inspire them in some way. Tzu Chi treats me like a family. I will treat them like my own family too.
With Tzu Chi volunteers' warmth and care, these ex-offenders in Kaohsiung have now found their place in society and are no longer lost in life.
We have been visiting here for 5 years. What I found most comforting is that the recidivism rates are 0.
They just ignored us when we first visited them. Gradually, they have become more friendly.
I'm very touched to see this. I don't want to be a taker. I want to be a giver.
Tzu Chi volunteers offer courses or seminars to inspire the ex-offenders or prisoners to do good. 20 years ago, 93 prisoners from Tainan military prison donated NT $100,000 to China in response to Tzu Chi's relief work.
They're all very touched every time we visit them. They hope that we can send their love to every corner of society.
Tzu Chi volunteers care for the prisoners, transforms them from criminals to Buddhas that lend a helping hand to those in need. In the future, the good deeds will only continue to expand and grow.
Another method that Tzu Chi uses to spread its positive message in Taiwan's prisons is through radio broadcasting. Tzu Chi Style Radio first appeared on the air as a paid programming on November 16, 1985. The show featured Master Zeng Yan's lectures, inspirational articles, and stimulating stories of Tzu Chi volunteers and care recipients. Since 1991, prisoners have also been writing in and sharing their stories of repentance and reflection. Their contribution stands as a testament to the power of the station to change the lives of even those in the most trying circumstances. Let's take a look.
Hello everyone and welcome to Spread the Seeds of Love. My name is Tzu Yu and I'm here every Sunday morning from 6:10 to 7 here on BCC's News Radio.
Turn on the radio and move the dial to AM 648 to hear Tzu Chi Style Radio broadcast. Since 1985, the channel has been spreading the message of love and hope over the airwaves.
The Master's Sermon is an integral part of our programming. Studying the Master's Dharma helps transform our foolishness into wisdom. Not only does it benefit us, but also many of our classmates in the prison system too.
For years, this voice of clarity and hope has found its way into the prison system, cleansing of the soul in whomever listens to it.
Sometimes I would wake up a bit earlier, and my cellmates see me lying there, invited me to listen to the program. The program was not bad at all. And after that first time, I became a regular listener. Every Sunday, I would listen to Spread the Seeds of Love.
Although there are many like Mr. Liu who enjoy listening to the program to pass the time, getting a radio is not easy.
Not every prisoner has access to a radio. Only those with records of good behavior can get one and thus listen to our show.
However, for those that do have a chance to listen to the program, many have been moved to take the initiative to give back.
The salary that these prisoners get from doing jobs in the prison every month works out to be $8 to $12. But if it is not for an emergency, they can't use it. Many of the prisoners who listen to our show would donate $4 or 1/2 of their total salary to Tzu Chi.
On April 28th, a DaAi radio host makes her first visit to the Jiayi Lucao prison. The face-to-face interaction was a major source of inspiration for many of the prisoners present.
Over 100 prisoners at the Jiayi Lucao prison, after hearing about the Eat 80% Food campaign on this program, have decided to participate.
Thanks to programs like Spread the Seeds of Love, Tzu Chi's message of eating vegetarian and eating only 80% full have found their way into the prison system.
We have a friend that is not that well off, and so we didn't want to intrude on him. But when he heard of the program, he said that he could give $2 a month, as it just means eating 2 less pieces of bread a month, something that he was more than willing to do for such a great cause.
For over 10 years, listeners have been writing in to tell of their experiences and happiness at finding Tzu Chi. Many of them are prisoners who, after leaving prison, have been determined to start their lives anew.
It makes me happy to hear that they are slowly finding new work and settling down. They are also joining Tzu Chi and becoming Tzu-Chens.
Every month, DaAi radio station receives letters from all over Taiwan, with many of them from prisoners who send stamps as a donation.
Every month we get about 20 to 30 letters, one after another. Every day we receive some, so after a while the numbers pile up.
The stamps are the donations of the prisoners and the fruits of the Eat Only 80% Full campaign.
After getting the receipt, I will send it to them to let them know that they have done a good deed.
Now in its 27th year, the influence for good that the station has brought to the community at large is immeasurable.
Some of my cellmates say every day smoke 1 less cigarette and you will save 1 packet of smokes a month. The money can then be used to donate stamps. I'm so thankful that Master Zeng Yan has founded the Tzu Chi Foundation and given so many people a chance to have goodness come into their lives. Malaysia, 41-year-old Xie Cai-chuan started working and living in Indonesia 7 years ago. It was then that he started watching DaAi TV and learned about Tzu Chi. Eventually, Xie Cai-chuan would become a Tzu Chi volunteer and help the needy in his second home.
Born in Malaysia, Xie Cai-chuan came to Indonesia in 2005 to work. At first, he thought it was going to be a short stay, but then by chance, he started watching DaAi TV.
I started watching Life Wisdom by Master Zheng Yan on DaAi TV, which inspired me. I started reflecting upon myself and discovered my many shortcomings. Slowly, my temper began to improve.
Because of Tzu Chi, Xie Cai-chuan knew there was more to life than simply working and started volunteering at local Tzu Chi free clinics.
At the same time that I'm working, I'm also volunteering. Though I get tired physically, seeing everyone healthy because of my selfless giving makes me happy.
Thanks to Xie Cai-chuan, his wife was also inspired to practice vegetarianism. Through giving, Xie has gained blessings and made Indonesia his second home.
29-year-old Kyo Song-win from Myanmar had been working in Malaysia for the past 5 years. But in April, due to a work accident, he injured his spine, causing paralysis to his lower body. When Malaysia's Tzu Chi volunteers learned of the news, they rushed to his aid and subsidized his medical bills. They also donated a wheelchair and money for a return ticket to send Kyo Song-win back home. Upon arrival, Myanmar's Tzu Chi volunteers picked him up at the airport to offer their support and encouragement.
Kyo So-win is happy to return home, but not without a little regret. Returning home in a wheelchair is not the homecoming he imagined it to be. At the airport, the Tzu Chi volunteers feels his despair, and they quickly offer words of encouragement.
Usually when you return home from working abroad, you hope to return with achievements. This family has great expectations of you, but when you come home in a wheelchair, it is not so. I think he feels very desolate.
Having grown up in a farming household, Kyo So-win has been poor all his life. He had planned to make money in Malaysia for his family, but his plans were cut short by the accident. With the volunteers' encouraging words, Kyo So-win no longer feels helpless and expresses his deepest gratitude.
Thank you everyone for your concerns, and please let the Malaysian Tzu Chi volunteers know that I have arrived in Myanmar safely. I want to thank them for taking care of me and giving me many books to read. Thank you.
You have to think positively, speak positively, and act positively. You can do it. Don't give up. We're always by your side.
To help Kyo So-win, the volunteers hired a van to take him home. They also prepared food, water, and blankets for the journey. They wish that he can rest up at home and continue to look on the bright side each day.
Once a Tzu Chi care recipient in Malaysia's Penang, Lin Laifu was injured in a vehicle accident in 2010 and was soon diagnosed with diabetes. After making a recovery, Lin followed volunteers on their home visitations and was much inspired when seeing those less fortunate than himself. Though the man lacks a stable income, he has promised to give more when he is capable. My leg was hurting and it was quite swollen as well. There was nothing I could do, and I had to lie down. When I got better, I would sit up, and when I could walk, I came volunteer. I joined them to come visit you.
Volunteer Lin Laifu was once a Tzu Chi care recipient who is now sharing his life experience with other recipients.
He is very friendly and doesn't seem like someone who has been helped before. He has a kind heart and he really touches people.
Lin, who worked as a security guard and was never married, also had to take care of his brother and a mentally challenged nephew. The breadwinner at home, Lin was under financial pressure after being involved in a vehicle accident in 2010 and was also diagnosed with diabetes and high blood pressure.
I remember right at the beginning he said to me, "Brother, just help me this one time, and you don't have to support me anymore. My leg is healed now and I can find a job."
After making a full recovery, Ling Laifu actively looked for a job, but had no luck because he was already 61 years of age. Unwilling to see the man depressed, volunteers invited him to join Tzu Chi's activities.
Tzu Chi helps us for a period of time. They shouldn't always support us. When I get better, I hope to reciprocate by helping others, either by donating or volunteering. It would be great if everyone can do the same, because there will be less suffering in the world.
Seeing those less fortunate has reminded Ling Laifu of his own blessings. Despite not having a stable income at the moment, Ling decides to remain positive and hopes that soon he will be able to give to those in need.
For the third straight year, Tzu Chi volunteers held a Buddha Day ceremony in Haiti. The volunteers decorated the venue with Bodhi and Moringa leaves. Students on Tzu Chi's Happy Campus program also joined the ceremony to experience Dharma joy.
Tzu Chi volunteers are singing while preparing lunch. Everybody is cheerfully awaiting the ensuing Buddha Day ceremony. Decorated with Bodhi and Moringa leaves, the venue looks very Haitian. In attendance are the U.S. and local volunteers and 6 students from the Happy Campus program.
We thank Tzu Chi for their help after the earthquake. They not only brought us food, but also support our education. Tzu Chi's compassion for the world is no different from any other religion. We hope that everyone will join in Tzu Chi's activities more often and to learn more about Tzu Chi.
Although most Haitians are Catholics, they are willing to participate in Buddhist rituals. They hold their hands together and bow to the Buddha with the same piety as any Buddhist.
Tzu Chi brought us love from the world. We should help others after we are helped. Haitians will not be discouraged by poverty. Everyone who is able should be a giver.
The volunteers encourage these students to make changes through getting an education. When their lives return to normal, Haitians will find spiritual peace again.
In Taiwan's Kaohsiung, Tzu Chi volunteers used lively skits to help the young students of Kaohsiung's Youchang Elementary School understand the wisdom of Jinsi aphorisms and the importance of environmental conservation. We join them at the end of today's program. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.